What's happening, Reds? It's Jamie Webster here. Just wanted to say, subscribe below. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is PubChat, but today, obviously, we're not in the pub, as you can tell. We got to do a Zoom today, so hopefully it'll come across, still pub chatty somewhat, without the bevs, without the free food.
I mean, he's
got the bev. Yeah, but you had to buy that, didn't you? We get BD Riley's to fill our bellies up really nice and full. So thank you to them. Wish we could be down there, but we're not. But we will be back after the United match to do a review. But today is Man United preview. Got Man United coming up on next Monday. Big massive match actually for both teams. Because if we lose, we'll be at the bottom. And United will be above us, and we don't want that, do we? Do we, lads?
It's a mad situation, right? So
it is.
We've had 2 games. This will be the 3rd game of the season, and you're right. I mean, we really have to win this, but so do Manchester United. I mean, this is a huge, huge game. They always are, but this feels especially massive so early in the season. So.
Well, I mean, imagine us beating them, right? And then they're 0-3. That's nuts. I mean,
I detest these games anyway. I hate these games, and especially I'm not looking forward to this.
We've all said it before, haven't we? Form goes out the window. It doesn't matter if they're bottom. It just doesn't matter. It's on the day who shows up. Hopefully, we show up. I think we will. I think Klopp's will have lit a fire up their arses, which they've needed. But yeah, what's your thoughts, lads?
I think these are both cowards, to be honest with you. I think we're going to absolutely batter them. I don't know what you're worrying about. Have you seen their last game?
Did you see our last game as well? Like your dad is talking about forms out the window. Well, both our form and Man United's form is so freaking out of the window that it's over the horizon. We can't see it. But go ahead, Glenn. If you're confident.
My form is a different planet to what our form is, so I don't think you can compare it.
You are from a different planet.
Well, listening to you two, you think that we were like Man United under Ferguson? Like, what were you worrying about? Absolutely shocking. Like, defensively, how are they going to be able to? I just don't think they're going to be able to cope with us at all. So, yeah. Wilson, back up here, Wilson. Can we talk some sense into these two?
Wait, hold on a minute.
You can't talk sense into these guys.
I don't think me and Julian said we're going to lose.
We didn't.
We never said that.
You just said you're shitting yourselves playing against them because...
Who said they were shitting themselves?
It's always been a horrible game. Like, I don't think anyone's really looked forward to the Manchester United game. I don't think we're going to lose it.
I'm just saying form goes out the window, and it does.
Yeah. But you know what it is, fellas, is that I think Klopp has recognized that the last 6 or 7 games, we've gone down in those games early, or we've conceded the first goal. We haven't lost those games, ended up losing, but I think that we need to go back to really taking our chances and putting them to the sword at the very beginning, because they are so fragile as far as their egos are, their personality as a team, that any goal early on, it will open the floodgates, and I think that will create confidence in our team, which, we have a lot of characters on our team as well, but I think that will create some more confidence. That'll put them down, and then it's just going to be off to the races. And, if we can get a goal in the first 15 minutes, I see a 3 or 4-0 victory.
Yeah, that early goal's going to, settle us all down, apart from Glenn, because, he's thinking we're going to be 3-0 up after fucking 5 minutes.
I'm not saying that. I just don't.
Mr. Positive.
I just don't have the same. I'm not worried. I don't. So when we used to watch Man United, when we were like during the 90s, whatever, they always used to have a couple of players, for the last 20 years, they've always had a player that would worry you. Like, there's not one player they have that genuinely worries you. And if Here's one for you, and I might be sort of going ahead here. If you're actually Man United, if you're a Man United supporter now, like honestly, how do you think that they could beat us? How do you actually think if you're thinking about the approach to the game, how can they go ahead and beat Liverpool?
I don't think there's anybody that thinks they can, because I mean, even if you go onto their boards or you talk to some people on a Liverpool Manchester banter page, nobody from Manchester thinks they can win this game. Even us getting 2 draws in a row, they are just, there's not one person on Man United that would get in our starting lineup, even with our injuries.
I think that they're hoping for a draw. That's their win. If they, draw with us, that'll be, a win for them.
Okay. Well, let me put it back down to you this way then. Instead of it saying like that, because I agree. I mean, I imagine they're probably very pessimistic on this game. But if you're Ten Hag, then how do you approach this game? How do you go into this game thinking? How do you go into this game?
They've got to be defensive, because if they come out, they're going to get ripped to shreds. That's the thing. They have to play defensive. So,
do you think he will put faith back into the young players that he actually, brought in, instead of going with some of the people that have really down tools? If you really want to be serious about it, some of those players have down tools in the last couple of years. So
I can see him going 3 at the back. And
which 3 though?
Maguire,
it doesn't matter if you have 5 in the back.
Varane,
if they're crap.
Maguire, Varane, and the little guy. It would make sense as a 3 to the little guy. So I can see them doing that. I think that would be their best opportunity to get a result against us. But I think if we play even 75% of our quality, we'll win this game. I think this game comes down to, will we show up for the first time this season over 90 minutes? If we do, we'll win it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and because we're doing a Zoom, I want to check something as well. It's really important. This is being recorded, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good. I'm just making sure, because the record button's not on.
But we want to make sure everybody can rewind and talk and see how much crap you talk. So we're recording this stuff.
Yeah. The thing up top here that says recording.
And it's got it. Good. See, I like to know there's these Zoom meetings, these Zoom PubChats. This is our first one. It's good to check. So good stuff. Good.
Anyway, going back to that.
Yeah.
We spoke about this the other day briefly, and it's difficult now. I can't tell what he's going to do, because there's a part of you that's like, well, they've been working all pre-season on trying to play out from the back, and they're trying to play this sort of press and high intensity type of way they want to go about it. It's like if you've been hearing that message for the last 6 weeks, and then for them to be like, right, well, we're playing Liverpool next week, we're now just going to literally just sit in and we're going to counter attack. I don't know. I honestly don't know which way. I mean, I don't think he's going to be as open as what he was at Brentford or Brighton, but
no,
I don't know. I can't. It's hard to tell. It's genuinely quite hard to tell what he will do here.
Hey, so let's talk about the good news we saw in training today. We saw Bobby Firmino in training. Gomez is there. Looks like he's slated to start this weekend or on Monday. So let's kind of go over the lineup, what we see Klopp doing, or what we think he's going to do for this game as far as the starting 11.
Oh, boy.
Not tweak it too much. I mean, no change in the back 5, right. Obviously. Midfield, I think Keita will come in for this one.
I agree. I think Keita is finally over his sickness, whatever that was. Keita will probably start with Hendo and Fabinho.
Yeah.
That would make sense. I can't see. I mean, Elliott did have a really good game. He did play well. So there is a case for him starting. But I think he'll go. I agree. I think he'll go with Keita for this.
And then up top, the front 3 pick themselves.
If many other options.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think.
If Bobby is fully fit, then you put him in.
Yeah. To me, the only question is the midfield, Keita or Elliott. Feels to me like it's probably going to be Keita.
Well, he had a really good game last time against United, didn't he?
He did play well. He did have a good game. It suited him sometimes the way they play. And he needs a good performance, especially after all the contract crap and stuff that's coming out this week about him wanting to leave. Yeah, he needs a good game, as do most of them. So, yeah.
I need a good game. Please, just do the job and 3 points, bring it home, get us back up there.
We need to get our season started, don't we? Really?
Yeah, and we talk about fast starts with De Gea coming off such a poor game, in his last outing. You really got to put him under pressure right away. Make him work, because his confidence has to be at his all-time low as well. Even though a couple of years ago he was bad throughout the whole season, this last week's performance kind of reverted back to that performance level. So I think we should need to put him under the cosh right away and really test him. Yeah,
that's why Nunez would have been a nice option, to kind of get in there and stick it to Maguire and to Hay. But our front three, they'll do the job. It's just, I'm ready for 3 points. I want an easy match. I do. I mean, Glenn, I want an easy match. I hope for an easy match. But at the end of the day, 3 points is all I'm looking for. At this moment in time.
Yeah, let me ask you guys, since you guys, obviously grew up across the pond, these Monday games, how is it different for you? Here, obviously, we got to, can't get too drunk because, we still have the responsibilities after the game on a Monday. But
you have a podcast.
Back when you were at home growing up and their games were on Monday, how different an atmosphere was that, or just
only really started
it never
with the
used to
Premier
happen
League.
on a Monday. I'm not old. I barely saw a game on a Monday.
Sky brought that in to follow what America was doing with the Monday Night Football. And I remember, I think the first one, and correct me if I'm wrong, it might have been Crystal Palace or at Charlton. They had all the cheerleaders come out and the fireworks. That was the first Monday Night Football live on Sky, and they made a big deal out of it. And then over the years, the cheerleaders have gone and fireworks have gone, but it's become It's pretty popular. Pubs are normally pretty busy on a Monday night for games. But even though people are working on Tuesday, the people will still be drinking and staying out late.
I couldn't imagine the two fan bases or two sets of supporters for Liverpool and Manchester United really would like this game to be on a Monday. They'd rather have it on a weekend, I would imagine.
Probably, but at the same time, evening game, isn't it? So, I'm pretty sure they'd want it they'd prefer on a Monday night than a 12 o'clock on a Saturday.
That's what was happening for a while as well. Like the Man United, because they were worried about trouble and people getting drunk in the day. So the game, a lot of the time, it was moved to like that 11:30 Saturday kickoff, which is always an absolute nightmare of a kickoff time, right?
Oh man! So I'm going to ask Julian first because he's been researching.
Hey, before we get into the research, let me ask you guys another question before we get into the research questions. So, does Ronaldo start against us? Yes or no?
No.
Glenn,
what do you think?
No, he probably doesn't. But I want to actually talk a bit more on this. Actually,
yeah.
Because I know how we're going to play. I know we're pretty much going to play. What do you think they're going to do? So what are they going to do? What are they going to do in there? We think, okay, they might play a back five, but then what are they going to play in the mid? What are they going to do midfield wise? And what are they going to do up front? I think it's really interesting. What do you think?
I think that's their problem. It's impossible to what they're going to do. They're so bad. They change their team so many times.
It's the midfield.
Yeah, Daz, go ahead.
It's the midfield that's just absolute shite, isn't it? McTominay and Fred, come on, and Eriksen. That's laughable.
Well, I mean, where's Eriksen going to play this week? I mean, he played a number 10, and he played a false 9. you know, with Fred and McTominay in the center, they're always going to be overmatched by our three. And so, it's very interesting how they're going to line up, Glenn, because, you know, if years past, we'd be scared of Rashford over there on the wing coming, but no one's really scared of him right now, you know, going by anybody with any confidence, right? So
it's difficult because at the weekend, I actually text you after that, after the Brentford game, and I said their midfield arrogant, the way they had Fernandes in there and Eriksen and Fred.
Mhm.
It's just like there's absolutely no defensive mindset in there really at all. So I can't see how they start that midfield again against us. If they do, it's borderline criminal. Like it really is. So
I don't know how you can start Fernandes and Eriksen in the same side, same midfield. That doesn't work for me. I'd be surprised if both of them start Monday. I think one of them, probably Eriksen, probably won't start that game.
I agree with that. I'm actually surprised that Fernandes isn't becoming like a front three player for Man United.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like no one really has a 10 anymore. 10s don't really exist anymore, and Fernandes isn't a midfielder.
well, he can't shoot either anymore. So after Ronaldo came on the team, he can't even hit the net, man, anymore. So that continues this week. But
when he was scoring lots of goals for them, they were doing quite well when they were sort of a bit more counter attacking, and they could use like the pacey lads like Martial and Greenwood and Rashford, and he was sort of arriving a little bit from deep. But I don't know, like maybe you're right. Maybe McTominay and Fred and
Fernandes,
and then maybe it's a Rashford, Sancho, Martial. I don't know. See, honestly, it's fantastic because we can't even decide who.
Martial's out, I think.
Yeah, Martial's out. Maybe they'll play your twin Van de Beek this week. Glenn?
My twin, my head was that one. Fair enough. I forgot about Van de Beek, to be fair. Forgot about him.
So United. United forgot about him as well.
but I think I think with Bruno Fernandes especially, he seems to be better and have more of an impact on the game and controls the game better when Ronaldo is not in the side. It feels like when Ronaldo's in the side, him and Bruno Fernandes don't work. So I agree. I don't think Ronaldo's going to start with all of the issues that's going on. I don't think Eriksen's going to start. I think he's going to have Fernandes in there. He'll probably start Rashford up against Trent because he's had success in the past. So that's a good outlet for them. Who's going to play in the middle up front is the question for me. I don't know.
Depends on it. I wonder if Fernandes might even play there. It's sort of I know Eriksen did it the other day, which is insane, but they don't really have a whole lot of options. But also, it just depends how they actually, what their outlet is. I don't even know what a Man United goal looks like. Not even being up. I don't know. Everyone's way of trying to play. I don't know what their way is. So if they try and play out from the back against us, it would be hilarious if they do.
I bet they do as well. I would not be surprised if they do that. And if Firmino is going to start, that's freaking perfect. That plays into our hands, and that's what he is fantastic at. I think Man United will play out from the back. I think they're going to.
Yeah, if they play out from the back, then it's absolute neglect.
Well, the supporters aren't going to want Ten Hag to play defensive at Old Trafford.
No,
not a chance.
Trust me, mate. Trust me. They will happily sit in and not have a shot if it gets them a 0-0. Like they're not that. Like if this was the other way around, I would be happy for Liverpool to play a 6-4 formation. Like because if you play out like you did against Brentford, and Brentford were 4-0 up after 30 minutes. If they do that against us, honestly, it would be insane. So that's why I'm really confident. I just can't see a way of how they can beat us.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we play anywhere near to our level of what we know we can play at, then it should be a routine win, really. And I think I'm a Manchester United fan still planning like a protest already for this weekend. I saw something about that. They were going to do another protest. And lo and behold, Man United now are trying to sign Casemiro today to try and, I'm guessing, appease that as well. But it seems like a very strange...
Yeah, that 30-year-old, 60 million.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously he would just come for a massive paycheck. Because why would he leave Real Madrid to play for United? Not again, and no Champions League. I mean, his mate Ronaldo wants to leave because he's not playing in the Champions League. It's money talks, obviously, you know, but bringing in a 30-year-old when you wanted, you know, how old's De Jong?
De Jong's quite young.
He's young, yeah.
He's like, what, 23?
Yeah, 23, 24, he's young. But...
Yeah, I mean, the massive difference is just that's how their transfers are going. It's just incredibly sad for their supporters and absolutely hilarious for us.
Offer humongously insane wages. Of course, some players are going to jump at that.
Yeah.
To go to Manchester, a team with no Champions League, with a stadium that leaks, like the catastrophe. It's
absolutely awful.
They've made so many bad signings that have made no sense.
If this only Elon Musk buy that team.
Oh God, no.
Even he was taking a piss take. That's how sad Man United are right now. Elon Musk gets on his Twitter page and says, I'm buying Man United. And some Man United fans biting, going, oh, yes, finally. And he's like, nah, I'm just joking.
Just getting you a little bit excited.
All right, so let's have a little fun. Let's go. We got some...
Get a little fun.
Dazo, you got to ask your question.
Favorite goal at Old Trafford by Liverpool.
Hey, let me go first so they don't pick mine.
Is this the 1910 one?
What's that?
Is this the 1910 one when you were there?
They didn't allow foreigners in the stands back then.
1895 they did. When were you at that one? Like Newton Heath? No, you didn't. You weren't allowed.
Mine is from 2001. John Arisa's shot.
Oh yeah,
from distance, the rocket, and
that was Anfield.
No, that was at Anfield.
No,
it was at Anfield.
Oh, can I still have that one?
Yes, just pick it. You're with it now. Okay. Go ahead.
And the reason why I like that one,
go on.
At Old Trafford like 3 times, but yeah, go ahead.
But I like that one. 2001 is because right after that, maybe a year after they came to the United States, and I went and saw them in Hartford. They played Celtic, and he hit basically the same kind of shot, still rising by that time it hit the back of the net and right at us. So that goal always sticks out in my mind. So thank you.
To be honest with you, it's probably the only one. I bet you John Arnvisa never hit. I mean, that was a belt, don't get me wrong, but I bet you he scored more than 3 free kicks for Liverpool, like comparatively, right?
Yeah.
Definitely no more than 5, but he would always get on free kicks then for the next couple of years.
As he should. As he should after that, but yeah.
Do you remember when he broke Alan Smith's leg with the ball?
Oh yeah, the Man United player. Yeah, the young little blondie, looked like a bit like Glenn. Yeah.
Leeds, yeah. What? Everyone looks like Glenn because he had blonde hair.
Yeah, they do. I mean, he looks a little bit like Glenn.
No, do you remember? He went for a shot and it just hit Smith's
brutal.
Leg, and his leg just buckled. So he had one hell of a shot on him, but like Glenn said, barely went in the net.
They did. So, he had his moments, didn't he, Risa? Yeah, I think he had his moments, but yeah, he was
the goal he scored against Chelsea, Community Shields, right?
Community Shield.
All the way up the pitch, and he shot from like 25 yards, right?
That was a beauty. Yep, that was one.
But back to the United. Glenn, what's yours?
Well, bit of a coward. Well, I've got sort of 2, to be honest with you.
What's that word, coward?
Well,
you did 3 times now.
Have I?
Yeah, you called me and him a couple of cowards. Now you're a coward. You're yourself a coward.
Well, I am a little bit for this one because it was actually going to be. It was the 4th one when we won 4-1, the Decena one, and
the Gazelle.
the 3-1 up, and obviously the game was done. But there's just that there was just that little feeling, you know, with them. You never know, and then that little, because it was the centre as well, a little chip over the goal.
It was a great chip as well.
Yeah,
A beautiful finish.
But then also, if I can have one more, probably
Sounds like you're going to.
I take Julian to you. This was sort of one from being a kid, really, and that was I think it was 2002 or 2003 season. It was the one where we went to Old Trafford and we beat them 1-0, and it was Danny Murphy. You know, the one when Gerrard played that ball,
Yeah,
around, and then like Murphy sort of just dinked the goalkeeper. That
2002.
It was, yeah. That's not bad. That
2001 was Murphy's free kick.
Yeah, because he did it. I think he done it. It was years in a row. He did it.
Yeah,
He did. Yeah, he did.
The free kick was great as well, but that one there, that pass and then that little dink, because I'm pretty sure if I remember right, we got battered that night probably, and like we just sort of got away with one. So that was very, very sweet.
I never thought much of Barthez, did you?
Nah.
I didn't think he was like a top class goalie.
Do you remember when it was like Paolo Di Canio at Old Trafford went through, scored that goal, and Barthez put his hand up to trick the linesman into thinking it was offside, and it wasn't. I mean, that summed Barthez up. I didn't think he was great, but he had a very good defense in front of him. I think saved him.
Yeah.
He thought
literally a lot of the time, but he wasn't great.
I think he thought he was a bit of a buyer himself, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some goalies, and you're in training, and they're like, they want to always be out and play. You can imagine him being a bit like that. But no, he wasn't great.
It was not great.
What's yours?
Can I just say that the worst own goal at Old Trafford was Ronnie Whelan? Remember?
Yeah.
He chipped from 30 yards out. That's when we're beating United 2-0. And then when he scored, that kind of made it a bit nervy. But yeah, that's probably one of the worst, well, apart from Traore's own goal.
The Burnley,
Yeah.
That was poor.
But yeah, go ahead, Julian.
Well, I was going to pick, so, I mean, Glenn, yeah, I agree with you. That Docena goal at Old Trafford, that was a fantastic week as well, wasn't it? Because we had the Real Madrid game where we smashed them. But that is one of them. That's one of them I was going to pick. Also, the Patrick Berger free kick at Old Trafford. You remember that in the green top?
Yeah.
What?
Fantastic. 1999, 2000 maybe. So it was. I think it was around that season. But that goal, that free kick was just proper.
Gorgeous him, wasn't he?
Amazing. I remember that. But I will pick the goal that stands out to me at Old Trafford by us wasn't against Manchester United.
Chelsea.
Can any of you remember which game?
You're going to say this? Is it the Chelsea one in the FA Cup?
No. It was the Robbie Fowler against Aston Villa in the FA Cup semi-final. You remember where he cuts in, he hits that rocket shot in the top corner. Fantastic goal. So that as a bonus one, I would pick that. Even though there's been many great goals against Man United, if I'm picking at Old Trafford, that Fowler goal just to me was.
Hey, it's at Old Trafford, so that's what we said. Old
That's
Trafford.
what we said, right? So yeah, there you go.
Well, that's what we said, but Steve didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Hey, at least Reece has scored against Manchester United. Julian's picking one he didn't even play against Manchester United. So.
I'm going off the question. You know, all I can do is go off what the question was. You know. So.
Can you pick one, Darren, that makes sense? Because I'm the only one at the minute on that Man United.
1990 Barnes, when he did that little run and then whacked it. Because
Crappy pitch.
scored twice that day. Actually, that's the same day Ronnie Whelan scored. So Liverpool scored 3. Just one was in the home goal. And then my second little one was Defo Aurelio in that 4-1 win. That free kick that Van der Sar didn't move an inch. and it was inch perfect because everyone thought Gerrard was going to take it, didn't he? And then the radio just pops up and knocks it in the right corner.
Sorry, yeah, that was the third one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
He
that
was
was
a brilliant player, Aurelio, at times. He really
Well, it's
was.
just injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was unbelievable when he was on it. Like the technique that lad had was that goal. Remember the goal he scored at Chelsea in the European Cup, the free kick.
Yeah,
Like dead mad angle, and like he just basically just tricked everyone and put it the near post. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was.
I know that Darren or doesn't make any predictions, but the rest of us, what's our predictions for as we're winding down? What's our predictions for Monday's game?
I predict you're giving a book away. That's what I predict.
Yeah, I'll have the book.
Signing it. Have you picked it? Let's quickly. Have you picked a winner yet?
No, but I'll have the winner.
But there's still time to comment on that.
That's right.
Old video if you want to win.
Come on, predictions.
Or comment on the Crystal Palace preview show. Just comment, and El Presidente will send you a book with a top photograph.
All right, I'll sign it with my right hand. Okay, what's the prediction for Monday?
I'll go 2-0.
2-0. Julian.
Yeah.
I think there'll be goals in this just because both teams are not playing well, but I think we'll show up with a performance. I think we will win 3-1.
Okay. I've put out on Facebook 2-1, so I'll stick to that. We'll come out on top 2-1. So.
And I'll go with all of that.
Okay, you're picking the Reds to win. That's your prediction.
You're going to add up all of the scores, and that's what the scores are going to be, like 12-2 or something.
All right.
Let's talk about this. Then, who do you think's going to score for United?
I know.
I'm saying they're going to score.
It'll be an own goal. That's the only one they're
Johnny Whelan.
Johnny Whelan will show up. He'll help you out.
Hey, the last time they scored on a penalty kick, right? So I can see that happening again, where there's just something clumsy happening in the box, and the way the refs are calling the games this season, wouldn't put it past them to call something. But
I can see a clean sheet for us.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I just think we're going to be defensively way too much for them. Especially with Gomez in.
Yeah. Well, lads, I'm going to go scout a possible place for us, Tamadachi. I'm going to go over to the sushi place with our
nice.
Oh, you didn't invite? Are you going to eat as well?
Steve Riyadh. So I'm going to go check it out and then talk about having a pub chat from there one of these nights. So
can we join you this evening?
No.
No.
When there's a pause.
It's a free country. So
hell, you come in anywhere near me.
Wow.
I think you're with your missus anyway, aren't you?
I'm with my pint, and so I'm gonna on behalf of Pub Chat. Cheers from me.
Steve's out.
Cheers.
Have a good night, mate.
Have fun.
So is that?
Oh man, yeah, I'll definitely want to go to the sushi place. So yeah. Anything else to add, lads?
I hate these games. I'm semi looking forward to the kind of dreading it as well. But that's, I think, how most of us always feel. I think that's from growing up, maybe more Daz and I than Glenn in the 80s, where we always seem to lose. But we've got, over the past few years.
What are you got? Right, so.
No, I'm serious. But over the past few years,
butterflies.
It's been a lot better. It's just, you just feel a little bit nervous about it. It's normal.
Glenn, it's just one of those where I'm just like,
it is.
Is this the game where United actually do something? Because there is a lot of pressure on them. Yeah. The fans will be all there. Like, it's just one. It's just butterflies for me. Do I think we'll win? Yes. But, until that ball gets kicked, I'm always a bit wary of what's going to happen.
it's certainly big for us, right? It's a big game for us. But
Huge.
for Man United, it's a massive. Like to lose 3 in a row, I mean, that's
And especially
epic proportions. That is,
especially if you beat them 2-3-0 or 1-0, that means they haven't scored.
Yeah.
In three matches. So yeah, I'd rather be a Liverpool supporter than a Man United supporter. Right now, because they're in some deep crap. I mean, the Glazers and all that rubbish that goes with them. It's the stadium's falling apart. The supporters are falling apart. The team's falling apart. I mean,
talking about supporters, what was going on with the bloke with the Man United flip flops at the game the other night? Like, come on.
Well, that's why somebody made that meme, and I'm just like, wow, if he can get in Anfield.
Do some, even if you don't like football when you're going for your first football game, do some research at least. Put some effort in.
Oh, at least wear socks. Put some socks on.
Oh,
yeah, that was that's just wrong. I wouldn't wear flip flops at a frigging game anyway. No chance. Gotta wear chainies. Yeah. It's like, come on, stewards, next time start looking at people's feet. That's just wrong. But yeah,
bad choices. But anyway, yeah, I'm ready. I just hate waiting till Monday. You have the weekend coming up, and our schedule is so strange.
We'll have 3 pints again. We'll have free food.
Very fine, free
I'm
food.
starving. I'm thirsty. Yeah, hopefully Monday we'll be back to normal, and we won't really have to do too many of these Zoom pub chats. Just because, I mean, we all like being in the pub and we just bounce off each other much better than staring into a computer and kind of trying to vibe off each other's computer, which sounds a bit kinky, but back down the pub in the right place at the right time. So yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, we'll bring it to a close.
Just tell everyone why we're not at the pub, like what you were doing today and why we're not there, and who the special guest is. Or
because it's Austin and it's raining, and when it rains in Austin, you don't risk your life.
Basically, we weren't down the pub because I had better guests.
Yeah.
You want to say who that was?
Yeah, I had a chief sports writer for BBC, Phil McNulty, and award-winning broadcaster Jim White, and it was absolutely boss. They have a brand new book out called Red on Red, Liverpool, Manchester United, the fiercest rivalry in the world. And we had a good chat. Jim is a United supporter, and Phil wants to go incognito, which is fine. He asked me to not say anything, but only the nose knows. But yeah, I had a great chat with them about the book, but about the upcoming game as well. So that'll be out soon. What else on the horizon? Jamie Webster's coming back on to have a chat. Paul from Redmen TV is coming on. And then don't we have that little fella, 4'3", named Sammy?
I thought you were talking about the new Manchester United centre back that we were going to snag for a laugh just to take the piss.
Sammy Martinez. Yeah, we have. We will be doing a Bournemouth review show.
Yeah.
And Sammy Lee will be joining us after his little Legends chit-chat with the supporters group here. So defo come out to that. It's free. I mean, all you need to do is buy us 3 pints and we'll get you in. Or just stay for the match. Stay for the match and then stay for the crack afterwards. But yeah, tons of good stuff coming up. We're going to try and do, review and preview shows on a regular basis. Fingers crossed, everything starts to work its way out. But yeah, the future looks good for the Liverpool Connection podcast. But again, if it wasn't for all you lot listening, we'd be just three old bastards, talking to a computer or just getting drunk at the pub. So really appreciate you tuning in and listening to us three and that other lad that just pissed off a little while ago, Mr. Wilson, El Presidente. But yeah, from me, it's up the Reds. Let's do United.
Cheers. Have a good one.